जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम 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 जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री 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 राम जय राम जय जय Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai 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 Ram Om. Shri Ram. Bring talks on the Gita. Talks on the Gita. Talks on the Gita. Shall I bring? And Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram, 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 Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Pranam, pranam. For the past 2-3 days, Papa has been drawing our attention to bring in these feelings while we pray, meditate, chant His name. Bereft of this feeling, unknowingly it slips into a superficial activity, a ritualistic form of activity, leaving no deep impact in our mind. This is something on which we have to do a lot of manana. When Papa was initiated with Ram Nam, every chanting was with feeling. That is why he could scale the heights in 2 years. We have been doing Ram Nam for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. So we are trying to check up now. Whether it is opening up a channel of communication with Him who is within us. Yesterday in that board, when we were going through that board, he said, prayer and meditation open up a channel of communication with Him. It should. Whether it is open. We were also finding out, every day we are chanting reciting the universal prayer. So many such things, Why is it not? It is entering into us. Knowingly or unknowingly, we have not brought this dimension, feeling. Even in the vyavaharic dealings, suppose somebody comes to your house, you naturally go open the door or and you say, Ben, please come in. That is, if it is with honesty, feelings, it will also be visible in your body language, and the other person also gets thrilled, If it is not, nowadays there is no ticket collector. Okay, when you go to the railway station, you buy the ticket. He will not have any feelings. Where are you going? Good. Are we doing like that? The ticket collector or the wherever he brings the dimension, we will not forget him. Feelings. So not only it opens up a channel between us and God, in all our dealings there is a sweetness in it only when the feelings are expressed. Think about it. You are serving food. You can serve food in 2 ways. Just throw the chapati, put something, The other one is giving like that. The same thing is to be applied in all our activities, is it not? Think about it. But what is happening unknowingly, not that we mean anything bad to anybody, unknowingly this dimension has not gone in within, so it comes at the superficial level. So that is why the sea of difference is there between Papa's chanting and our chanting. When we now go through it again and again, it becomes very clear to us, yes, this is what is lacking in our doing it. Because the litmus test is whether it is opening up a channel. That means, am I becoming aware of his presence within? Papa has given us the clue. In order to touch and kindle this feeling, he says, you should know that you are chanting the name of one who is within you, who is making you to chant. So whether we do Ram Nam, whether we do bhajan, whether we render music, whether we cook, whether we maintain our household, whether we are attending to our professional challenges, duties, are we bringing this? Wherever we have brought it, we have been successful. Wherever we have not brought it, it goes at the superficial level. So every prayer, Mataji has designed the prayer for us every day to be recited in Bhajan Hall. It is not for mechanical chanting. It is ultimately to open up a channel of communication between us and Him who is within us. Until we get in touch with our Guru, we may not know this. That is why we revere the saints. If they have not shown us, how will we know? And Papa shared what he experienced. That is what he has brought out in the first book of his first page, first chapter. Feeling. If the feeling is not there, for nearly a year, Ramdas struggled on in a world full of chaos, anxieties and pains. It was a period of terrible stress and restlessness. In this utterly helpless condition, full of misery, where is relief, where is rest? This was the heart's cry of Ramdas. The cry was heard. That means it had opened up the channel of communication. Otherwise, the cry would not have been heard. So, in our case, what is the difference? We are trying to understand. It was heard by him, not a person. The cry was heard from the great void. Came the voice, despair not, trust me, thou shalt be free. When he said great void, previously, of course, we thought, he was also, he must have been influenced by this same expression as given out in the Yoga Vasishta. Because in the passage to divinity, Chandrasekhar Rao says, of the books he read, Yoga Vasishta, he makes a mention. So when we went through the Yoga Vasishta, we found the same word, great void. So we thought that must have been. Later on, that could be, we don't know. Later on, when we were working on the source of sources, we were guided to the Upanishadic words as to where from the whole creation came. So in Taittiriya Upanishad, it is mentioned that first when this subtle and mysterious power wanted to express itself, It was in a static nature, it was not a dynamic nature. So when it came out from the static to the dynamic nature, first came out was the space. So from him the first thing came was space. From space, air, from air, fire, fire, water, water, earth, earth, trees, then food, then human being. This is how it is traced back. So the first thing is that space, which is called the great void. It is not nothing, but it is there, it contains everything. So when Papa says great void, just imagine what an amount of manana he has done. And then, so great void, it gave him the answer. Now it is becoming clearer to us. And then, despair not, trust me, thou shalt be free. It can come only when we open up the channel of communication. Papa's crying, he gets intuitively he gets this. That means channel of communication has been opened up. And then, these encouraging words of Ram. So the next is the great void. This was the voice of Ram. This great assurance soothed the aching heart of helpless Ramdas like gentle rain on thirsting earth. Thenceforward, a part of the time that was formerly totally devoted to worldly affairs was taken up for the meditation of Ram. This aspect Papa wants us to go again and again and again. This aspect we have not given any importance at all, unknowingly. We were asked to chant, we started chanting. Though Papa Mataji have been always amplifying what this Ram stands for, somehow we did not pay much attention to it. So what happened then? The feeling aspirant, it was not kindled. That is why the chanting goes on, minus the feelings. That is why even during the chanting time, the mind goes here and there. It's a very important aspect, Thenceforward, a part of the time that was formerly totally devoted to worldly affairs was taken up for the meditation of Ram, first meditation of Ram, who for that period gave him real peace and relief. Gradually, love for Ram increased. The more Ramdas meditated on and chant uttered his name, the greater the relief and joy he felt. So 2-3 things now it is becoming clear. Because the feeling dimension was there, he was able to always feel the sweetness of the name. Otherwise, how will we find the name sweet? Only when this feeling dimension is there, while chanting, the sweetness can be felt. Soothing. What is sweetness? A pleasant feeling wells up in our mind. That is what is called sweetness. So this is very important. How to bring it, every one of us have to try in our own way. Because last year when we were telling that we are celebrating the centenary, we did not do any celebration. We made an in-depth study of Inquest of God. Through that, He revealed so many things. But because we did not do enough manana, these questions did not come up at all for us. These questions did not come up at all. But why is it that I am not enjoying it? I have been doing it for so many years. Anyway, bygones are bygones. Let us try to do it from now onwards. How to bring that feeling? We can go back to our own experience. Whenever we act anything, we talk anything with feelings, how do we receive it? How do we enjoy it? It should not be at the surface level. We don't mean anything bad, but we don't mean anything deeply, When you say, how are you, for example, automatically the expression comes, how are you? We know that even if he says he is not well, we cannot do anything. He is passing through severe, we cannot do anything. So what do you expect? You make him to say, I am okay, A set. Because honestly speaking, suppose I ask you, how are you? Everybody will have some problem, Either at the physical level or the mental level or the intellectual level or at the financial level. Some problem will be there, professional level. Can anybody say, I am okay? But when somebody asks, normally we say, I am okay. But suppose we do it with feelings, we will try to answer him. I am not feeling well. I was passing through stressful period, now I feel all right. We'll be saying that. Because this one comes automatically, at the superficial level. Hello, how are you? Not that we mean anything bad, but the subtle influence it has a superficial plane, So similarly, when somebody comes, when we offer something, when we offer a cup of coffee, when we offer the seat, when Sridharan, who is here now, who has been with the value education, he was also the president of the Parents Association.
Parents Teachers Association.
So then when they decided to renovate the building, so they wanted to make a collection. So he was telling us, one day he went, wherever they went, all the parents, friends, old students, they were all positive and they all gave. But one incident he told me that got stuck in my heart. When they went to evening, only evening they can go, because everybody will be going for work. Mostly they are wage earners. So one day when they went there by 6:30 or 7 o'clock, the person was not there, his missus was there, and the child was there, a school-going child. As soon as these people came, the first thing the child did was to bring a mat, make them to sit, rushed up inside and was telling his mother, they have come. He says, I was really touched the way in which that boy, he did not run inside. First he did was to offer the seat, offer them water, then he went inside. Feeling, So then we learnt a lesson when he was explaining. Previously when, about 10 years back, 10 or 15 years back. Somebody wrote a letter that they want some financial assistance for their house. They are in a hut. So we sent somebody from here. And when he went there, he was trying to locate this particular house. So he saw an old lady sitting in her thatched hut. And he asked for this address. Immediately she said, this located, this is the house, you can go. If you go straight, take a turn, first house, something like that. And then immediately she asked, where are you coming from? Said, from ashram. Oh, then he must have returned for his some assistance. Please do. He is very deserving. He is suffering. So when he went there, he saw everything, saw 100% deserving people. So when he came back, he just again met this old lady. They are also in a thatched shed. You are also in a thatched shed. But you did not ask, you did not ask whether you will also get some assistance. You know what she said? I am alone. This is more than enough for me. He has got family. When we were working on this 12th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in the first sloka, he says, Santushto yena kenachiti. Always contented. We are trying to understand what is contentment in spiritual journey. Here is a lady who is only having a thatched shed with no electricity, sitting there, contented, directing others to go to the most deserving one, but not raising one voice for her. And when she directed, it was 100% proper direction, feeling, Why are we telling you, this had happened 20 years back, correct? But when he reported to us, it got stuck in our mind. Because the person who went there is dealing with a feeling, otherwise why should he report to us? So we are now trying to understand the effect of feeling, whether it is a talk, whether it is a deed, whether it is a thought. When it is closely associated with the feeling, what a tremendous impact it makes in our mind. Even after 20 years, we remember. Similarly, Papa wants every one of us to chant the name with the feeling. That is why he said the other day that prayer and meditation open up a channel of communication with him. So when we say Prabhu Vishwanatha, O Lord of the universe, O Creator, Protector, Destroyer of the world, I come in all humility to thy holy feet and surrender myself entirely to thee. Deign to bless me ever with thy remembrance. O merciful divine Master, give me strength, purity and peace. Like that, when we keep on chanting with that feeling, what a tremendous impact it has got. Otherwise, we are only mechanically repeating, Mechanically repeating is not a crime. Initially, none of us know any meaning. That is why Papa initially said concentration, no concentration, chant. But when the chanting has become a part of us, a habit, then we should think about all these things. For us, we have been doing it for years together now, decades together. Initially, when we come to this ashram first, nobody gives us a lecture about anything. We simply join the program. We join the bhajan, we join the Ramnam, we join whatever, Arati. Some inexplicable present feeling is there, otherwise we will not again come. We don't know. Later on, we start thinking, what is happening to me in spite of my going? So let us try now. You have made us to chant for so many decades now, but still the channel of communication has not been opened. To me, still you are a concept, not a reality. Whereas you have promised that it will become a reality if I chant. If I chant with the right perspective. So we now try to understand what is the right perspective. When Papa said attributes, none of us were able to understand. How can we simultaneously have these attributes? That's what he did. Nama chanting side by side with meditation on the attributes. This is what he did. His words are ceaseless chanting of his name, side by side with concentrated meditation on the various attributes. So that is how his journey got triggered. In 2 years' time, he could go to the summit. Which aspect we were able to find out only later. No? Among various activities, we have also included this activity, but to him it was exclusive. That was another plus point. And he developed this Nama chanting because he has established this channel of communication. We will read out a few lines of Papa on the name. No? Ram has made Ramdas his child. As such, he will tell you a few things relating to the spiritual path on which this divine master and mother guided him to the final vision and realization of him. In the first place, Ram in all his mercy awakened his heart to his existence and gave him a keen aspiration to see and realize him. In the first place, please attentively hear these words so that you know how to make our chanting more effective. We may get some clues. In the first place, Ram, in all his mercy, awakened his heart to his existence. Awakening to his existence in us. You know. He is within me. And gave him a keen aspiration to see and realize him. First awakening, then a keen aspiration. With this end in view, he initiated him into Rama Mantra. See how it goes, you know. The difference between his chanting and our chanting. I will again read that word. In the first place, Ram in all his mercy awakened his heart to his existence. We did not know, when we were chanting, we did not know that he is inside us. In his case, he was very clear. He is chanting the name of one who is within him, who has awakened him, who has given him the aspiration to realize him. So with this end in view, he initiated him in Ram Mantra. Thereafter, by his will and power, the name rang in his heart and dwelt on his tongue ceaselessly, purifying his mind, senses, and even the physical part of him. There is no greater enlightener or purifier than this holy and glorious name. Verily, the person who has his name is a blessed soul. Ramdas need hardly describe to you the greatness of the name, as all of you are fully aware of it from your own experience. It is this name that fitted Ramdas for the vision of his immortal self, the vision of Ram in all beings, creatures and things in the world, and the vision of him as the entire universe and beyond. Ram's unbounded grace illumined every aspect of Ramdas's life, granting him the very summit of spiritual experience through the power of his name. Ramdas is principally a votary of the name, and he has found in it the supreme way and means to realize God in all his perfection. Ultimately, Ramdas became Ram's confiding child, finding complete refuge in him as his universal mother. Now this child is moving from place to place to disseminate the greatness and splendor of his name, which is the only antidote for all the evils in the world. Harmony, peace, and goodwill can be established on the earth only when the heart of man is turned towards God and attuned to his will, and thereby he realizes the divine presence within himself and everywhere about him. The divine presence within himself and everywhere about him. This great consummation is possible when every one of you link your mind with God through continued remembrance of him by chanting his all-powerful name. This sentence is also very, very, very salient, very important. 3 steps. This great consummation. What is consummation? The presence within me and his presence within everywhere. That is the great consummation. That is possible when every one of you link your mind with God. Channel of communication. Every one of you link your mind with God through continued remembrance. By chanting his all-powerful name. Nama is for remembrance. Remembrance is for linking ourselves with him. That will lead us to the consummation that he is within us and he is everywhere else. Nama is for remembrance. That remembrance will link us with him, which will finally enable us to see him within and also in everybody. With this, we can check up where are we, which are the areas where we have to improve. Nama is for remembrance. This great consummation is possible when every one of you link your mind with God through continued remembrance of him by chanting his all-powerful name. It is rightly said that name is the bridge that unites the devotee and God. Name is the boat that takes the devotee across the sea of life. Name is the light that dispels the darkness of ignorance. Name is a priceless gem, more valuable than all the riches of the world, because it can bring you peace and bliss, which is eternal. Name can lead you to perfect self-surrender. Nay, name can bring you face to face with God. Name is the way, name is the goal. Name can open the fountain of your heart, flood you with divine love and joy. God, His grace and name are one and the same. God, His grace and name are one and the same. Ramdas, the child of Ram, has nothing more to say than to conclude by the prayer that Ram, who is all power, wisdom, love and bliss, may ever shower his grace and blessings on all beings on this earth. So by bringing the word prayer and communication, prayer and meditation will open up a channel of communication with him. He is slowly now unfolding one by one, no? So that the chanting does not go from the superficial level. Even when we are chanting for a short time, if this dimension is there, Papa assures us that it will have its own impact in all that we do. Slowly it will make us that whatever we do is a dedication to him. So the superficial chanting will be replaced by chanting with feelings. Thank you. Once more we will read. Ram has made Ramdas his child. As such, he will tell you a few things relating to the spiritual path on which this divine master and mother led and guided him to the final vision and realization of him. In the first place, Ram, in all his mercy, awakened his heart to his existence. First of all, we should know there is God. And then gave him a keen aspiration to see and realize him. With this end in view, he initiated him into Ram Mantra. Thereafter, by his will and power, the name rang in his heart and dwelt on his tongue ceaselessly, purifying his mind, senses, and even the physical part of him. There is no greater enlightener and purifier than this holy and glorious name. Verily, the person who has his name is a blessed soul. Ramdas need hardly describe to you the greatness of the name, as all of you are fully aware of it from your own experience. It is this name that fitted Ramdas for the vision for his immortal self, the vision of Ram in all beings, the vision of Ram in all beings, creatures and things in the world, and the vision of him as the entire universe and beyond. Ram's unbounded grace illumined every aspect of Ramdas's life, granting him the very summit of spiritual experience through the power of his name. Ramdas is principally a votary of the name, and he has found in it the supreme way and means to realize God in all his perfection. Ultimately, Ramdas became Ram's confiding child, finding complete refuge in him as his universal mother. Now this child is moving from place to place to disseminate the greatness and splendor of his name, which is the only antidote for all the evils in the world. Harmony, peace, and goodwill can be established on the earth only when the heart of a man is turned towards God and attuned to his will, and thereby he realizes the divine presence within himself and everywhere about him. This great consummation is possible when every one of you link your mind with God through continued remembrance of him by chanting his all-powerful name. It is rightly said that name is the bridge that unites the devotee and God. Name is the boat that takes the devotee across the sea of life. Name is the light that dispels the darkness of ignorance. Name is a priceless gem, more valuable than all the riches of the world, because it can bring you peace and bliss which is eternal. Name can lead you perfect self-surrender. Nay, name can bring you face to face with God. Name is the way, name is the goal. Name can open the fountain of your heart, flood you with divine love and joy. God, his grace, and name are one and the same. Ramdas, the child of Ram, has nothing more to say than to conclude by the prayer that Ram, who is all power, wisdom, love, and bliss, may ever shower his grace and blessings on all beings on this earth. We have read this article now once, twice. Now, what does it touch and kindle in us? This is not a reading session. This is a session facility.
This particular portion, from which book?
From which book Swamiji has read?
He's asking for the source.
Okay, I will tell you. This has not come out. It was an unpublished letter. So we are compiling it. We are compiling it. Let us go to this theme,
Yes, yes. Theme is good, yes. World is deep.
It is not the question of good. How do we, what does it touch and kindle in us?
So, innate experience.
Huh?
Huh?
Innate experience.
Innate experience.
Innate.
Innate experience.
Innate experience.
Swamiji, we now realize our mistake.
Now we realize our mistake.
Now we realize our mistake.
Chanting with feeling.
Eh?
Chanting we were doing without feeling. That mistake we
Yeah. It's all right. Bygones are bygones. It's all right. Now he has touched and kindled in us, So to bring in this dimension, you see how he prompted us to take up that board one by one. And in one particular board, he made us to hammer again. And finally, how it evolved and linked it to our Nama chanting. Nama chanting is our main vocation. The main sadhana. So how to improve our sadhana so that we at least we feel we are moving toward the desired goal. Yes. You remember the three things?
Link your mind with God. Three things.
Trial path?
No, today's.
Today.
Link your mind with God.
chant ceaselessly Bhavani Masis. Chant the name ceaselessly. Remember.
Link your mind with God. Through his remembrance, by chanting.
This is very important. Even if we forget the whole article, doesn't matter. But if we remember this particular aspect, three things he said. Link ourselves with him. First of all, he explained about the final summit. Somebody who has not visited a particular place, he comes and explains to us about the beauty of that place, about the plus points of that place. First, here also Papa paints before us, portrays before us. That stage where we find him not only in us, in everywhere. And for that, we have to link ourselves with him. For that, we have to remember him. For that, we chant his name. So we chant his name to remember him. Remembrance should enable us to link us with him. And when we link ourselves with him, we find him in us and also in everybody. Is that clear? To you, the book is not there. To you, the book is not there. To us, the book is there. So it is easy for us to say that. So in your case, you are hearing it. So unless the hearing goes with this, it is difficult. For us, the ready reference is there. We can understand that. So please, that's why we are repeating it again and again, because you don't have this particular article before you. So today, when we...
Chanting the name to remember him. So when we remember him, we have link with him, and when we connect with him, we see him in us and then in everybody.
Correct.
Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely right. So chanting is for remembrance, remembrance is for linking with him, and the moment we start linking with him, we find him everywhere. We are linking with him in everybody. So even then, so there may be some gaps, we are not very clear. So we do along with that some manana. When he said life is the expression of Atman. So we are chanting the name of one whose outer expression is life, whose outer expression is awareness, whose outer is intelligence, whose outer expression is love, whose outer expression is absence of otherness. Like that, that's what he said, attributes. So when we set ourselves, so the Nama chanting we start. So Nama chanting to remember him. And to remember whom? Unless we make more and more clarity on the attributes, we may not be able to. Even if we concentrate on a form, that the Nama stands for that form, that idol, that deity. And then the deity is the one who is presiding over every entire creation. No? That is what we want. When we pray to the deity, we know, at the same time we do not know. We know that we are praying to the Lord of the universe. In all our glorifying, yesterday we thought that Archana, we tell him that. Vishwam Vishnu Vashatkar. Suppose when we are offering our prayers to Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Lord Muruga, Lord Ayyappa, Goddess Saraswati, Goddess Lakshmi, Goddess anyone, everywhere we Jagadodharini Ma, everywhere we bring that dimension. You are the Vishwam. So even if we go through the deity, perfectly all right, but we are not linking with the theme, We are getting halted at a particular level and then we don't.
Mantra Pushpam.
Mantra Pushpam.
Today we were reading, somebody wanted, nearby ashram, there is a Hanuman temple consecrated by Papa himself. So they are now, what do you call that? Punanavigaranam. The whole thing is changed and there is going to be a Punapradishta. So they wanted some message from us. So we don't remember which was the year. Luckily Papa helped us and we came to know that was on 5th October 1952. Papa went himself from a place called 1 kilometer from away, Mulakandam, where he performed the consecration ceremony. So when they wanted this, we did not say these historical details, Immediately he prompted us, what I have said about Hanumanji. It was the idol of Hanumanji that Papa installed. So then he guided us. In the Divine Life, there is an article exclusively for Hanumanji. Why Hanumanji, of all the deities, Papa singled out and then said, he is the Das of Ram. To him, to Hanumanji, Ram is the master. Everything he was dedicating to his Ram. The Ram who is not only in that form, who is everywhere. Yes, we have got time, I will try to read that. It's a very inspiring article.
One song is there.
One song is there. Some song is there. She's remembering the song.
Where?
Some Marathi song.
Papa said correct. This bhajan is in
Oh. Here is the article of Papa. Sri Hanumanji is the greatest devotee of Sri Rama. He worshipped Lord Rama with the attitude of a servant, and by the servant master attitude, he attained such a lofty plane in the spiritual sphere that when he was once asked by Lord Rama as to who he was, this is very important, he could boldly reply, as body, I am your humble servant. As an individual, I am part of you. As the Supreme Soul, I am yourself. Let us remember that if we become his real servant, he will absorb us into his own resplendent being, raise us to his status. To become his servant is to do everything as commanded by him and to chant his name constantly. These were the only two sadhanas that Sri Hanumanji did, and with these he could rise to the spiritual heights and become the greatest servant of the Lord. Now he is being worshipped by one and all in innumerable temples and homes. He has shown to the world how one can become a real servant of God. We must all keep Sri Hanumanji as our ideal. Strive to become servants of God. Let us humble ourselves to nothing and do everything as his service and keep his name always on our tongue. By repeating Ram Nam constantly, we become the Das or servant of Ram. Ramdas was born on Sri Hanuman Jayanti day. This fact he was not aware of until he took up sannyas and became a real Das of Ram at the bank of river Kaveri. Ram prompted him then to assume the name Ramdas. It was later that he came to know that Ram gave him this name as he was born on the day of birth of the greatest Das of Ram, and that therefore he was to be his Das for all the years to come. Hanumanji was an ideal brahmachari, an absolute celibate. Those who aspire to be lifelong celibates worship Hanumanji to invoke his help and strength to maintain celibacy. Those who repeat Ram Nam constantly are sure to attain inner purity and remain pure celibates. By such repetition, they will become free from the desires of the senses, free from lust, greed, wrath. We have heard that even the body of Hanumanji was made adamantine by the very power of Ram Nam, and he became immortal. As Atman, everyone is of course immortal, but Hanumanji got an immortal body too. So let us all pray humbly to God. O Lord, by your grace, may we have your holy name on our tongue constantly. May we be transformed into your very being. May we attain eternal union with you. And in a state of parabhakti, may we serve you. In a state of parabhakti, may we serve you in your world manifestations as Hanumanji served you. So why he brought this again, So even when we pray through the form, if the right perspective is there, the 3 steps, chanting his name to remember him, remembrance leads to the link with him, the link makes us aware of his presence in us and everywhere. Suppose some of you are performing puja every day. If you go through the glorification, any shlokas which you offer, it will all have this, the universal aspect. No doubt, their body was also glorified. Initially, it will be there, but later on, when you go, that body became resplendent, it became attractive, it became inspiring because of this cosmic power within. So we slow through the form. That is why Puja Mataji, many of you might be knowing that, gave a lot of emphasis for Hanuman Chalisa. And there is one more unique feature in our bhajan hall. You will not find any idol, any image excepting Hanuman. As you enter the bhajan hall, the first photo we come across is Hanumanji. Because it is not merely the form of Hanumanji. Now you have heard what Papa said. As body, I am your humble servant. As an individual, I am part of you. As the Supreme Soul, I am yourself. Yes, you wanted to say something?
Papa's throat in the neck, it looks like Hanuman.
Kadri gave Papa's ear, no? That Hanuman tied.
So these are things, so now the main point is that feeling should be there. Only when feeling is there, the Naam will make us to remember him. We can look back to our own experience, whether the Nama chanting has touched and evoked this aspect. So chanting with feeling enables us to remember him. Remembrance will actually lead to linking with him. Linking with him will finally flower in the form of universal vision. Okay, let us think. So, we have absolutely no idea as to what we are going to share with you. But when we come here one by one, he unfolds. So we should know he is closely watching us and he is guiding us. It is the high time for us to improve the quality of our chanting so that our move towards becoming aware of his presence become faster and faster. This should not be lost sight of. Hari Om. More of it tomorrow.
Papa himself is guiding us how to read.
Om. We will have 3 times our mantra rupa. With this background, we have heard about Ramna. To remember him, linking with him, and then to get a glimpse. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.